Hi, today we're going to be talking about pornography addiction and some of the possible effects and implications of that and how we can help to solve the problem. So just an introduction to pornography addiction. Pornography is very prevalent in our society today, and it is readily available to anyone who has access to the internet. It's very easy to get to. Unfortunately, it's very easy to find. In our society, we are told to do what makes us happy. We're told to do whatever's easiest, whatever we want to do. You choose your own life. It's your own path. Our society is very individualistic, and these types of societies often encourage everyone to focus on their own needs and to make themselves happy. Very self-centered, very selfish. Pornography addiction is a behavioral addiction that needs to be taken seriously. Because our society is trying to normalize pornography, we're not taking it as seriously as we would take alcoholism. Even though they're both addictions, we try to shrug off behavioral addictions. So a little bit of history on pornography addiction. So traditionally, pornography was only available through magazines or video stores, pictures. Men and women put a lot of effort into hiding their books and movies from everyone. Shame was their main drive to hide these behaviors. They were very scared of somebody finding out what was in their black bag or what that movie was in their bookcase. Pornography has evolved with the introduction of the internet and more specifically personal mobile devices. So when computers were available in the home, pornography was still not as prevalent as it is today. Nobody wanted to run the risk of their parents finding porn on their computer, on their family computer. Now internet histories can be cleared, and the risk of somebody discovering this habit has been greatly reduced. So with the introduction of mobile phones, tablets, laptop computers, personal computers, all that stuff, the viewing of pornography has skyrocketed. The internet is very available. 93% of adolescents use the internet, and 63% of them use the internet daily. So one study found that 66% of men and 41% of women watch pornography monthly. So that's over half of men and almost half of women. People are watching it on their personal devices, their laptops, their tablets. These personal devices rarely fall into the hands of somebody else, so the risk of being caught with this pornography has been greatly diminished. It is more common also now for men and women to talk about watching pornography. It's starting to become normalized, but the viewing of it, it's not widely accepted, especially among older generations. So addiction to pornography. It is now easier than ever to become addicted to pornography. As selfish humans, we are looking to make ourselves feel good. Pornography can help some to feel good, so why not watch it all the time? Pornography is easily accessible, and as I have said, it is becoming more of a norm. Pornography addictions can affect relationships greatly. We'll talk about this a little bit more later, but any addiction will affect relationships. When somebody has an addiction, that is the most important thing in their life, and they're not able to take care of the rest of things in their life adequately. Any addiction will affect these relationships. Pornography addiction is no different, and it will have significant effect on relationships. The relationship that is most impacted is the marriage relationship, or even a dating relationship can be affected. Sex is an important part of marriage, and pornography really degrades a person's healthy sexuality. Pornography is degrading to both men and women, and the addiction can change the individual's attitudes. So pornography is positively related to views that support violence against women. In pornography, a lot of times women are seen as submissive while men are dominant, and it just really creates an unhealthy cognitive structure about the relationship between men and women. Just it permeates into their normal life, it permeates into their sexual life. It's really unhealthy for whoever is dealing with a pornography addiction. It is also positively correlated to affirmative attitudes toward extramarital sex, premarital sex, teenage sex, more sexual partners, and engaging in paid sexual behaviors. So a lot of risky sexual behaviors are increasing in this relationship with pornography. So if a person watches more pornography, they're more likely to have affirmative attitudes toward paid sex. Their entire views on sex have been greatly harmed by their addiction to pornography. So just looking at some specific effects of pornography addiction on the individual as well as society. So this is a cultural issue. We have seen a huge increase in pornography, a huge increase in sexually transmitted infections and diseases, and huge increase in teen pregnancy has gone down a little bit because of protection and abortions, unfortunately. So we're going to look at some of the specific effects. So in the individual, we talked a little bit about the change in attitudes toward women, towards sex, towards relationships, towards men too. So they're just more on board with really risky sexual behaviors. Next, it is a behavioral addiction. Their entire life might involve around this. They might be at work and just be like, oh man, I can't wait to go home and watch porn. That's where their mind is always. They can't be happy or function normally without this addiction, without pornography. They're so addicted that they can't live their normal life without thinking about it, without needing it, without craving it all day. It affects their thoughts, and they are likely to have relationship struggles, so marriages will struggle. Marriages will struggle because of pornography addiction. The spouse that is not addicted to pornography might not feel good enough for the one who is addicted. The sex is never how it is shown in pornography. That's not a healthy sex example. The person who is addicted to pornography is likely to be disappointed in their sexual partners. They see all these things in pornography, and that's just not how it is, so they have a very unhealthy expectation. Also, like I've said, risky sexual behavior. They're more likely to engage in riskier sexual behavior, like more partners and no protection, because I don't think you see protection in pornography. All right, so in society, we see unhealthy marriages. So marriages and marriage relationships suffer greatly from pornography addiction. When marriages fall apart, society suffers. Marriages are the building blocks of families. Families are the building blocks of society. When marriages fall apart, families fall apart, children suffer, parents suffer, society suffers. This risky sexual behavior, again, we see an increase in these STIs, STDs. It may not be a direct result of pornography, but it definitely contributes to our general attitude towards sex. These new views towards sex encourage people to do whatever makes them happy, no matter the repercussions. There are just general unhealthy attitudes and unsafe attitudes towards sex and women. Again, women are seen as passive and submissive, and they're often put in danger. Women are already at danger for being exploited, and pornography just perpetuates this problem. So the intervention strategy that I came up with was a class for parents. So parents need to be educated on how to talk to their children about pornography. Parents need to equip their children with ways to avoid pornography. Most parents nowadays didn't really have to deal with this kind of stuff when they were kids. There wasn't as much technology, there wasn't as much accessibility, so this is uncharted territory for them. This is a very uncomfortable subject for most parents, and they don't know how to talk to their kids. They don't want to talk to their kids about it. Parents can educate their children about the dangers. They just need the tools to be able to. Parents can also create restrictions such as internet locks and restricting their child's screen time just to keep them safe. This class will mainly be preventative because it is focused towards the parents' children. It's focused toward children before they're pulled into that world, before they're hopefully exposed to anything. So the audience of the class that I would teach, it'll be consisted of parents who are wanting to talk to their kids about pornography and pornography addiction. So parents will come from many different ethnicities, socioeconomic statuses, religious beliefs, and family structures. You'll have all different types of family. Every family is different. You're going to have all different types of family in a class. Pornography is a sensitive subject, so it'll be vital for instructors to be cautious with their language and material when teaching to these parents. Instructors need to remain objective and truthful when presenting the information, so they don't seem to be attacking anybody's views or making anybody wildly uncomfortable. Some implications of the class. So this class mainly focuses on prevention and the role that parents play in the prevention for their children. It's not really focusing as much on damage control, but focusing on younger children, like young adolescents, and how we can help them and prevent pornography addiction. So parents need tools to be able to talk to their children about this sensitive subject. This class can provide that for them, just give them really basic ways, really simple language for them to use that both them and their child will understand. Parents do need to take responsibility for the role that they have in educating their children. I really believe that parents are responsible for teaching their kids about sex and now pornography. Parents, they're not sure what to do. It's a weird subject. They don't want to talk about it, but it is definitely important, and I believe parents can make a change and they can teach their children about this. And my references. Thank you.